Welcome to Generations of Game, a father, son, Uncle Andrew sports podcast. We are coming at you today. We are talking way too early reactions to the baseball season, MLB. We're going to be talking about maybe some Little League, Davis and Little League over here. Let's talk about playoff runs in the NBA.
Okay. Wait, is that already playoffs?
It's about to be. We got 1 week of season left? Yeah.
9 days left.
9 days left, man.
Oh, gosh.
And then the Final Four coming up tomorrow. So we got to talk about a little bit of March Madness.
San Antonio.
Let's start with some baseball. Way too early. Overreactions to baseball. Andrew, what do you got?
The Dodgers are going to go 162-0.
Let's go.
And win the division by a half a game because the Padres are going to go 161-1.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right.
Is that possible?
Definitely not possible. The question, though, for real is, can they beat the 116 games of the 2001 Seattle Mariners, and who else did it? Somebody else did it. 1906 Cubs.
Yep.
Easy.
Those two teams went and won 116 games. That's the most games ever. And they're talking about the Dodgers and that. Yeah, we're 8-0. The Dodgers are 8-0. I'm excited about that. Then I turn around and look, our little brothers, San Diego Padres, are 7-0. So we don't even have a real lead in the division, and we're 8-0.
It reminds me of, what was it, 2 years ago when the Rays started like 27-3, and then the Orioles ended up winning the division.
Yeah, they completely fell off. So let's not recreate that.
No.
And the Dodgers at 8-0 now have the record for the best starting record to a season after winning a championship. So as reigning champs, they just beat out the 1933, right, like Murderers Row, the Yankees with Ruth and Gehrig. So that's pretty elite company to be in.
That is
with those guys.
That is.
Yeah, I'll take that. On the flip side of it, we just beat up on the Braves, who are 0-7, and they had the number 2 power ranking coming into this season. They were projected as the number 2 best team, and they are 0-7.
Which just goes to show you that power rankings and PECOTA rankings are worthless.
Which Andrew is a firm, long time believer, because the Brewers never get any respect, man.
No, it's nothing but shade.
12 coming into the season or something, no respect.
Yeah, I think they forecasted us to win 83 games this year.
Disrespect.
After winning the division by 10 games with 93 wins last year.
People are picking the Cubs. That's like the popular pick right now. And they did retool. They got Kyle Tucker. And so I could see them being a popular pick. And then people are picking the Reds over the Brewers as well.
And the Reds have now become the 4th or 5th team in Major League Baseball history to lose 3 straight games by a score of 1-0. And apparently they have not scored a run in the last 28 innings they've played. And
Brutal.
It also makes me very nervous because we won against the Reds 1-0 last night, but we have 3 more games to play against them. And on Monday, they scored 14 runs. So hoping not to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else we got in baseball? It was unique and interesting to see automatic balls and strikes in the spring training time.
Did you see what the stats ended up being?
No, it didn't.
So 52% of challenges were upheld.
Okay.
So whether it was a challenge or it was a ball or a strike, whichever way, 50. So, I mean, to me, that says that the umpires are doing a pretty good job if it's almost 50-50.
Yeah, the umpires are doing a pretty good job. I've mentioned on the show before, like I'm doing ABS operating system now for the Iowa Cubs, and so it's been, can't talk about it. I'm sworn to secrecy and silence. It's very unique getting the perspective of honestly how good the umpires are. And it's easy for us to say, like we talk a lot of trash on umpires. So respect to the umpires for sure.
I talk a lot of trash on the Kansas City team refs.
You talk a lot of trash on everybody. That's kind of your thing. It's kind of his thing, man. He's a trash talker.
No.
He's a trash talker. All right, last thing on MLB, beginning of the season, torpedo bats.
Bowling pin bats.
So I'm going to let Andrew get into this one because torpedo bats got a lot of airtime after the Yankees went and hit 9 home runs, one shy of a record, and quite a unfortunate walloping for the Brewers and Nestor Cortez playing his old team got a little bit of a thumping, right? The first 3 pitches were hit out of the park. So there's been some buzz about torpedo bats. Andrew, unfortunately, you had to be on the receiving end of that. What are your thoughts on torpedo bats?
So first, let's just say that last night Cortez came back and threw 6 innings of shutout ball.
All right, here we go.
So here's the deal on the torpedo bat, which I think is very interesting, is that there for the standard bat, there are multiple models, right? And then a player will pick the length and the weight of the bat that they want, but it's still ultimately the same model. With the torpedo bats, the thing that's really interesting to me is that, first of all, some brilliant dude from MIT came up with this, right? And each torpedo bat is custom to the user. And what they do is they move mass down from the barrel of the bat closer to the handle based on where each individual player typically strikes the ball the most during the course of the season. So here's the thing that's really interesting to me. If you are a player like Aaron Judge, who is not using a torpedo bat, who consistently strikes the ball on the barrel of a traditional bat, there's no reason to switch.
Okay. I could see that.
Right? So if you're a guy that typically gets fisted or hits the ball a lot between the label and the handle, then you're a ball player who would be interested in moving the mass of the barrel closer to the handle.
Yeah, MIT guy, who also, though, he's a former MIT guy because he's on a staff. Whose staff is he on? On the Yankees?
No, he was with the Yankees last year and a couple years before that. I know he moved on and he's with another team. I just can't remember which team it is.
This guy went to MIT, who then is in baseball, and took that and said, hey, let's improve that. I just love that there's iterating around the game. Is it legal? Is it not legal? Does it create an unfair advantage? I don't know. And other people are welcome to use that bat and that same technology. So I think it can equalize. I think the fact that it got so much attention from the Yankees, so many players using it, I think,
I think the next iteration on the batter's side that's going to be super interesting, right? And we've seen now years and years of iteration on pitching, right? Yeah. Like torque, spin rate, arm angle, arm slot, all that. The next conversation that's coming in baseball is your position in the batter's box. And I just saw a piece on this today, and they went through 8 different ball players. One of them happened to be Bryce Terang of the Brewers. Last year, Bryce Terang, and where he stood in the batter's box, he was in the bottom 9 percentile of hard hit balls. And he has adjusted where he stands in the box, and it's minimal, right? Like he is backwards towards the umpire, like 0.2 feet, and farther away from the plate by 0.1 foot. But so far, he has generated a hard hit rate of over 45%, which basically takes him from a rating of terrible to a rating of very good.
So it's the same kind of thing. You're repositioning where your swing plane goes through, then thereby where the barrel of the bat goes through. This is really good. Perfect transition. 2 things that you said about arm angle, slot, all that with the pitching side, but then the hitting side as well. As Davis has started Little League, right? So I'm coaching We're working a lot on hitting, and then Davis is going to be pitching as well. And exactly that. We've been talking about kind of your crouch, your coil, hands back, how they're going from their stance into their load, into their launch, all those pieces. Yep, lining up. Had to twist. A lot of these guys are holding the bat like this. You got to twist them all the way until those knuckles line up, which feels uncomfortable at first. There's a lot of that, moving them in, out, back, forward. Even understanding that terminology to move them in and out of the batter's box to their position. Davis has a very open stance and then kind of has a tight leg pull in, explodes the hip. So we've been working on that a lot. We're getting away from swinging just with arms, right? Yeah, there's a lot of that. When they get nervous, they stop moving their lower half. They just swing with their arms, and you can really see that. So he's doing that. But pitching, how are you feeling about pitching right now?
Very good.
Oh, come on, give us more than that. What are you working on the mound?
Slower coil.
Slow, fast. Those are the number one thing.
Yeah.
So his leg lift at first was very shallow, very quick, and very straight up and down. So the first thing we worked on, it totally was, and I have video of it. Come on, nice try. So now his front leg angle is torquing back across his back leg, so he creates some torque. We talked about even how some of the Japanese pitchers who may not be as big and strong, they turn their back to you to create all that torque, but slow, painfully slow, almost stopping at the top.
And then you put your glove out and then bring it back in.
Get the separation, but then pull that glove back in. Yep, to create that torque again.
Yeah.
And then what are you coming downhill? Coming downhill. So he's been working on that, and he's got to trust the strength of his arm. This is another thing you see a lot, Andrew, at that level. And with him is if they throw a couple wild pitches, they throw behind the guy. That happens all the time at 10-year-old level or anything like that. Yep, they sink away from that. They get really frustrated, and then they start aiming and throwing soft.
Yeah.
Thinking that they can throw a better strike.
Neat. Okay, yeah.
So we talked about that. Trust your arm. Use that whip. How you feeling about that? Even if it means you throw a ball, even if it means you walk a guy, even if it means you hit a guy. You willing to throw the ball hard?
My arm hurts.
We're going to have to put ice packs on?
No.
Are you trusting your arm or what?
I guess, but it's hard to throw it straight.
Even when you're a professional, it's hard to throw it straight. Because sometimes you throw it too straight, those guys hit a long way.
Yeah, exactly.
A long way. What else are you excited about baseball season? We're the Royals this year.
Oh.
Who doesn't love that?
Bobby Witt Jr. What's not to love?
Yeah, come on. He's great.
Okay, I do have a card of him. Anyway.
Could have been the Dodgers. We got to play the Dodgers now, huh?
Yeah.
I'm torn.
Here's the thing. Whoever gets the last pick gets the first pick for the team. So probably all the good players got taken up, and then they got to pick the good team. I mean the good.
Well, we were right in the middle. Well, there's 10 teams, and we were pick 5. So it means we got the 5th pick and then the 5th pick. Right in the middle as far as teams go. You knew they weren't going to pick the Dodgers, though. Come on.
Why?
I don't know. It's a bunch of Midwest guys. So the Cardinals, the Twins, the Brewers, the Cubs.
Yeah.
For some reason, nobody out here likes the White Sox, but the Royals, like those are the teams that are going to go first for sure.
Oh, speaking of the White Sox, hot take, not an overreaction. The White Sox are going to finish the season with a better record than the Rockies.
Woo! After last season, historic bad season. All right, I like that. All right, baseball. Davis is trying to get more excited about baseball, Andrew. As we play baseball, I hope it opens up the opportunity for more games. As we're going to be going some Iowa Cubs games, we got to get him. We got to indoctrinate him into baseball. Because right now it's basketball first, football second, and baseball is a distant third. So
I would even dare to put.
We got work to do. Look at that. He's got an old school scoring book.
I would even dare to put track at third. Not gonna lie.
Andrew is an uber baseball nerd, man. So we got a lot to learn from Andrew. All right, let's talk real quick just about NBA, because NBA is your favorite.
Yay!
We are 9 days away from playoffs starting, as Andrew said. So first thing I wanted to know, Oklahoma City, Houston, Cleveland, some of the best records in the game. Are they for real? Is OKC for real? Is SGA, look at as he has got SGA on his phone.
Nice.
SGA is going to win the MVP. Is OKC for real? Can they graduate to making an actual finals run? Do you think they are?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I think it's going to be Cavs OKC. OKC in 6.
Okay. Do you think Houston's for real? Do you think they make a little bit of a run?
I think Houston goes to the. How does that work? Final 4?
The finals?
Finals.
The conference finals.
Conference finals.
Yes. So you think that Houston will play OKC in the Western Conference Finals?
Yes. And I think the Cavs will play the Celtics.
So you think the 1 and 2 seeds in each side, as it stands right now, it could shift, but basically those are the 1 and 2 seeds on each side. It's going to come down to the Final Four?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Whichever.
So what happened to you being a Bucks fan? Because for 5 minutes you were a Bucks fan because you and your brother just loved Giannis. Now all of a sudden it's SGA.
I like Giannis. Did I say the Bucks fan?
Yes, I made you commit to a team, and you and your brother both said the Bucks, and now you have SGA on your phone. You're a fair weather fan, this kid for sure.
I mean, Giannis had a record-breaking stat line last night.
What?
Yeah, come on.
He had like 35 points, 20 rebounds, and 17 assists.
17 assists. It's
still
like Stockton level, man.
Still like to say.
He's the first ever NBA player to have a 35, 20, 15 plus stat line.
Dang.
Too bad we're going to get bounced in the first round.
Yeah. Oh, man. So that's my question to you. Do you think they can make a run, the Bucks?
No.
See?
Yeah. I mean, and especially, obviously, Damian Lillard with a little deep vein thrombosis, which for those of us speaking English is blood clots.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not back, there's no way. If he is back, there is a potential that if we can hang on to the 5 seed, that we could win one round against the Pacers.
Okay, that's who you can beat. Nobody else.
But I don't. If they're the 6th seed, I don't see them beating the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they probably won't drop into the play-in. But if they do, who knows? They could lose in the play-in.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm going to be super biased because that's what we do here. I think the Lakers can make a run. I think the Lakers can make a run. I think Houston and OKC are still so young, so untested. I think the fact that Luka went to a championship and lost, he's gotten a taste and he understands that bitter taste. Obviously, LeBron knows how to make it to a championship. Austin Reeves, as a number 3 scorer, can get a bucket anywhere he wants at any time. They got some depth issues as far as can other guys hit those open wing threes. I have some questions there. Their defense is looking really solid despite Luka being a huge vulnerability there. Their overall defense is looking good.
Luka's a crazy.
And who's a better 1-2 punch than Luka and LeBron in the league right now?
Hang on.
Come on.
I gotta think.
I'm waiting, OKC. Will SGA be the best player on the court when I do think OKC goes to play the Lakers, which would be
will not happen
at the 4 seed, which would mean that'd be before the conference championship.
Yeah.
But you think what SGA and Chet are?
If Chet,
you think SGA and Jalen are? I don't think so. Neither of those guys. Maybe SGA, Chet, and Jalen are a better 1-2-3 than throwing Austin Reeves in there. I don't know that that's even true. Probably defensively there, but I don't think that that's even true.
Chet needs like 2 more years, and then immediately yes.
He needs like 40 more pounds is what he needs.
I got a contender. Wemby and Fox.
Nah. Not even close to Luka and LeBron. Not even a little bit. Not even in 5 years when LeBron is like 55 years old. Will that be the truth?
This man.
I like De'Aaron Fox. I think he's an all right player. He's not.
Both Luka and LeBron are crybabies.
There's a little of that.
I think part of the challenge too, like for the Bucks, I think that you could have with Dame healthy, you could have a conversation about Giannis and Dame.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, especially if you're just looking at numbers, the statistics for the duo playing together.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that the Bucks don't have anybody else around them.
Yeah, right.
That
Jalen Brunson and Cat.
can take them anywhere.
Jalen Brunson and Cat over Luka and LeBron.
No. LeBron retires in 4 years, and I have a crybaby on my team. No, I'm good. I'm taking Brunson and Cat.
Haterade, no way.
I'm taking Brunson and Cat.
No way.
Are you joking? LeBron retires.
I'll give you 3-point shooting with Cat. Is probably the best 3-point shooter of those three. Maybe.
LeBron retires in 3 years, and then I have a crybaby stuck on my team. No, I'm good.
Mm-mm.
No, I'm good.
Not even a little bit.
No, I'm good.
All right. We'll see how it plays out, because I haven't been that great at picking. My NFL picks has been well documented here that he whooped me, absolutely thrashed me. Now we're into NCAA. All right. Final four coming up tomorrow. We have Houston versus Duke. We have Auburn versus Florida. Okay, we'll see who's out of the SEC with 14 teams that'll come down to the top two. I like that. I like the synergy of being able to say who's the best in the SEC versus who's the best of everybody else. And I think that's pretty close. So I got to give flowers, Andrew, to your grandpa, because he got all 8 Elite 8 teams and all Final Four teams correct.
Wow.
That is unreal. I've never seen that before. Wesley and Davis got the Final Four correct. All 3 of those guys in our family bracket picked all 4 1 seeds. That is the first time since 2008 when it was all the blue bloods. It was Kansas, North Carolina, UCLA, and then Memphis. That's when Derrick Rose got beat by that Mario Chalmers shot. That's the last and only time that there's been 4 1 seeds. And these guys, all 3 of them picked all 4 1 seeds. So I got to give them flowers there. I had 3 of the 1 seeds, and I had Tennessee beating Houston.
I mean, sounds like the family pool could come down to total points scored in the championship game.
It's this guy thinks he's still in it. He's not.
If Florida wins, I win. If Duke wins, Davis doesn't have a path to winning, because both Wesley and he have Duke and Auburn, right? And Wesley is beating him in points. And I think it almost came down to Wesley picking. Who did he pick? He picked McNeese. And that gave him a point over Davis. So he's been 1 point ahead of Davis. I think he's 3 points ahead of Davis now. And Davis, so he can't win. So Davis could pick Duke as the winner and still lose. He will still lose.
No.
So
if it's Duke Auburn, Grandpa still wins.
Yeah, he's way ahead in points right now.
Even if Duke wins,
no, Wesley still wins by 2 points, but barely. That's how good your grandpa's bracket is that he barely has to get there. He's barely going to beat him by having the winning team. If Florida wins, if Auburn wins, your grandpa wins. If Duke wins, Wesley wins. And if Florida wins, I win. And then there, Davis has the exact Final Four, and he's sitting on the outside looking in.
I think Auburn is going to lose. They not look good at all. Not at all.
Florida got pushed to the limit twice.
And they did it twice.
Yeah, they did do it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that can galvanize you and push you over the edge. But I don't know. Duke and Houston look filthy. I think whoever comes out of that is probably winning it all. Cooper Flagg just won Player of the Year, the 4th freshman Player of the Year. How do you think he stacks up as an all-time freshman? I mean, if they win it all, it's Carmelo and Syracuse in 2003, I think.
Yeah.
You think he's that good?
Yeah. I still don't think he goes number 1.
You try to say what, Ace Bailey or Harper or whatever are going to go before Cooper Flagg?
Yes. Ace is so much better.
Oh, Andrew, talk to him.
No, don't. Ace is so much better. La, 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 la. Dylan Harper does not go before Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, he's the only other guy that was mentioned. Those 3 guys have been mentioned as the number 1 pick.
I mean,
It's not like
Johnny?
football where you might not take the best player because you have a specific need at a specific place. In basketball, you just take the best player. It doesn't really matter. Like if you need a center and the best player is a guard, you're still almost always taking the guard who's higher ranked, unless they're ranked 2 and 3.
Depending,
You might take the guy who's ranked number 3 because you need a center. But that's the only time.
depending on who, what, like you just said, but still, depending on who gets the 3rd pick will determine if it's Dylan Harper or Johnny Broom.
Wonder if Cooper Flagg's going to enjoy playing in Utah.
Yeah. That's where he's going. That's where he's going. I mean, Cooper Flagg is like a generational talent.
Who has number
Both
1?
sides of the ball, too. That's the other thing about those other guys. Those guys are offensive guys. Broom maybe is a pretty good 2-way player as well. But Cooper Flagg is as good as we've seen a 2-way player. And he's been like that all the way through high school, now into college, through an entire season, through the tournament. He is not wilted for 1 second. So I think it's Cooper Flagg number 1. I think he's a clear, he could have been tournament MVP.
Who has
as well.
number 1?
Utah. Yeah. Who do you have in your bracket, Andrew, winning it all?
I have Duke winning it all.
Yeah.
Duke.
How's your final 4?
I have 3 of the 4.
Okay. Who are you missing?
Who am I missing?
Who did you have?
Let's see. I've got Auburn, Duke, and Houston.
Okay. Who'd you have coming out instead of Florida?
I had so I made a poor decision based on watching Marquette play in the Big East. I way overvalued St. John's.
Me too. I had St. John's losing to Florida, but I had St. John's all the way in the Elite 8.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue into another historic thing. We've been talking about lots of historic things today. Rick Pitino of St. John's, and fame of Louisville and Kentucky and the Knicks, and I mean, all-time great coach. And Bruce Pearl, formerly of Tennessee fame, now of Auburn fame, are co-coaches of the year. The first time ever that there's been a tie for coach of the year. What do you think about that?
No. Wait, when was that award given out?
Just like yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
When was it voted?
It's voted on for the regular season. It does not include playoffs.
Playoffs?
Still not.
You think it should be Bruce Pearl?
Yes.
Auburn?
Auburn was way better.
Yeah, but Auburn was expected to be better. St. John's kind of came out of nowhere, and then they went right back to nowhere after getting pretty well handled.
Yeah.
You like Auburn?
No, I don't, actually.
You like Charles Barkley, the big mound of rebound?
He went to Auburn?
He went to Auburn, man.
Oh, I knew that.
Is that the last time that Auburn was this relevant? Probably.
I would think.
That he's talking about. Okay, well, all you guys on Duke. I have Duke and Florida in the final, and I have Florida winning, which I think I'm going to be wrong. And I don't think Florida goes past Auburn at this point.
Yeah,
No?
Oh, let's also not fail to mention that Bruce Pearl at one point was the head coach of the University of Wisconsin Milwaukee Panthers basketball team.
Man, sometimes the trajectory that these coaches go on is pretty wild.
Yep.
Where they start out, where they end up, and all that. Out here in Iowa, there's big buzz around McCollum going from Drake, only 1 year at Drake, having that Cinderella run, and he's now at the University of Iowa, and he brought his guy with Spritz. What's his kid's name? His standout went with him. That's the thing with these portals now, especially in basketball. You just bring the whole team with you.
Yeah.
Like people are paying for a coach and a team. Pretty wild. All right. Davis is like, I'm out of here. I told you I'd give you 25 minutes. His agent is blowing up his phone. That is all the time that we have. So glad to be back because we've been on a hiatus for a little while as Davis is way too popular to hang out with Andrew and I and do this little Generations of Game show.
I got my friends, bro.
He's got his friends. All right. That's all we got for you. Cheers.
Bye.